If you wanna fight, fight with style. Super cijene u fight stuffu. UFC Crest hoodie 413 kuna. UFC National hoodie 431 kuna. UFC Torrents hoodie 431 kuna. www.fightstuff.hr. Prvi put u povijesti dame će predvoditi UFC-ov event. U prvom ženskom meču u najjačoj svjetskoj borilačkoj promociji bivša Strikeforceova prvakinja Ronda Rousey brani naslov u bantamu protiv Liz Carmouche. Prije njih u oktogon ulaze dva velikana, legendarni Dan Henderson i bivši prvak Lyoto the Dragon Machida. Usto, nakon više od 8 godina, nemilosrdni Robbie Lawler vraća se u UFC, a dobrodošlicu će mu poželjeti veteran Josh Koscheck. UFC 157 pogledajte u izravnom prijenosu u noći sa subote na nedjelju 24. veljače od 4 sata ujutro samo na pay-per-view Fight Channela.
There's a huge historical significance for this fight.
It's a piece of history that's an honor to be a part of.
Grounds are being broken that have never been broken before.
Gonna take it all. No one's stopping me. Pain I'm gonna feel. Sweat the victory. I'm a superstar. Brightest ever seen. Chasing destiny. Meet my enemy. Seize the victory.
I don't fight to win matches. I fight to defeat the person in the most fantastic way you can.
Ronda Rousey continues to amaze me!
I honestly don't think that Rousey has what it takes to beat me.
Liz Carmouche. What an athlete! What a victory!
Ronda Rousey launches the UFC's women's division against Marine Liz Carmouche. Former light heavyweight champion Lyoto Machida takes on former Pride and Strikeforce champ Dan Henderson. And former WEC featherweight title holder Uriah Faber rematches with Ivan Menjivar. The countdown to UFC 157 starts now.
People are talking about that fight. It was a great fight.
It was. When are we going to see women in the UFC, man?
Never.
Never?
I remember the day Dana White was recorded saying that women's MMA was never going to happen in the UFC. And a few days after, I was talking to her, and she's like, I know he's going to love me. I know he's going to love me. I just have to convince him, you know?
I'm gonna get you.
I'm going to get you.
One of the hottest stars in all of mixed martial arts.
I just feel like if I wanted women's MMA in the UFC, I wanted it badly enough where I didn't trust anybody else to do it for me.
A whirling dervish, a rowdy Ronda Rousey.
She has refused to accept the strictures that other people have tried to put on her and women and say, you can't do this.
She is non-stop, man. She is all out for people.
Resistance is futile, okay? I'm the Borg. I'm the Borg of lovingness, okay? You're just gonna think I'm awesome, and there's no way to resist it.
She's not playing games at all. That girl's playing for keeps.
She's a triple threat. She's highly intelligent. She's a badass.
I'm the champ now. The champ doesn't go to you. You come to the champ. Come down to 135 and let's settle this.
And she's beautiful.
I've been at this game a long time. I've never seen anything like it.
I just made it a personal goal for mine, and I went for it. And I guess it's all working out, huh? I come out every morning just to skimboard a little bit. I call it sprints and stability training in a organic sea salts cold dip to try and make it sound more relevant to my training. You know, I come out to the beach and it's just kind of, it makes you feel small and it makes stuff you're worried about seem not so important, and it's just kind of a good way to clear my head.
When she was born, we thought she was dead. My husband burst into tears in the delivery room. She wasn't breathing, she was blue, and so they brought her back and got her breathing, and then she was 2.5. She still wasn't talking at all. Since Rhonda couldn't express herself verbally, she did it physically. The physical things, the athletics were the things that she could excel in. And so that's what she did every second that she could.
Her father wanted to make her a world champion in swimming.
He would pick me up pretty much when I was still sleeping, put me in the car, drive me there. I would swim, and he would walk along the length of the pool, just jumping up and down, screaming, taking pictures, everything. You know, he was so stoked on it. It was the coolest dad ever.
Rhonda's dad broke his back. It was just a freak accident. We were sledding. He ended up, instead of going down and up the next hill, somehow sliding across and going feet first into the opposite hill, and broke his back. And he had a disease called Bernard-Soulier syndrome.
Bernard-Soulier syndrome is similar to hemophilia. You can't clot your blood.
As a result, he really didn't heal, and it got worse and worse and worse.
They told him that, you know, he pretty much only had 2 years left to live. And first he'd become a paraplegic, and then he'd become a quadriplegic, and then he would die. He didn't want us to suffer with him. So he went to this pond we used to drive out to. We used to skip rocks on it and stuff. And he put a hose in the exhaust and looped it back in, turned the car on, he went to sleep. And that was it. The only time I saw my mom cry, she looked at me and she's like, "Your dad went to heaven." And I just remember I couldn't feel my legs. Like, I couldn't walk.
Her whole world pretty much fell in.
He told everybody, and he told me, that I was meant to be something extraordinary. You know, I was going to win the Olympics. I could be president. I could be anything. And before I got old enough to think that I knew everything, he died. So he kind of just left me with that. And I believed him, because when you're 8 years old, your dad's right about everything.
Rhonda got interested in judo about 9 or 10 years old. Rhonda's mother, Anna Marie, was the best of the best at her time. 1984, she won the Worlds.
Her mom, Anna Marie DeMars, the first American woman to win the World Championships in judo.
Yeah, I'd go up to people in tournaments and go up behind them and just like kick them in the back legs and, "Bitch, I'm gonna break your arm today."
My first injury was I broke my big toe in practice, and I was like 11. So I was like, "Mom, I broke my toe." And she goes, "So what? You got 9 other toes. Come talk to me when you only got 1 left." And she made me run laps around the mat for the rest of the night. I think to make me prove to myself that broken toe was something that I could push through. I cried every single practice from like 2002 to 2005, I think. 2006 and a half. I went from unranked to #1 in the country. I won the Pan American Championships and made the Olympic team.
Rhonda was the youngest competitor in the entire field. 4 years later, she became the first American woman to ever earn an Olympic medal in judo.
My dad was the first thing I thought of. He was a veteran, so they buried him with the flag on his coffin, and they folded it up into a little triangle, and I kept it for a very long time. And when I went to the Olympics, I specifically brought it with me. And right after I won the bronze medal, I looked up and saw my mom in the stands, and they were waving it. After the Olympics, I was like, "Look, I'm tired of this. I'm tired. Like, I need to take a year off." So I went home, and I took a year to just bartend and be normal, so I wouldn't feel like I was missing out on things.
After a year, Ronda began training MMA.
At first, I thought MMA was the stupidest idea I had ever heard.
Five. Good.
One of the reasons I thought it was a stupid idea is because there was no professional path for women. Women weren't making any money at it. So it's sort of like if I said, my dream is to go out and make it in professional competitive embroidery. You know, there's no such thing. So what a stupid waste of time.
Don. Good.
Ronda Rousey has really blazed a trail for women's MMA, thanks largely to her ability to dominate and cross over into the mainstream. Women who are fighting in leagues like Invicta can look ahead and say, there's a future for me in this sport. I can fight in the UFC someday.
The first ever UFC Women's Champion, Ronda Rousey.
I love people doubting me. I'm more motivated by proving people wrong than fulfilling everyone's expectations.
Prvi put u povijesti dame će predvoditi UFC-ov event. U prvom ženskom meču u najjačoj svjetskoj borilačkoj promociji bivša Strikeforceova prvakinja Ronda Rousey brani naslov u bantamu protiv Liz Carmouche. Prije njih u oktogon ulaze dva velikana, legendarni Dan Henderson i bivši prvak Lyoto the Dragon Machida. Usto, nakon više od 8 godina, nemilosrdni Robbie Lawler vraća se u UFC, a dobrodošlicu će mu poželjeti veteran Josh Koscheck. UFC 157 pogledajte u izravnom prijenosu u noći sa subote na nedjelju 24. veljače od 4 sata ujutro samo na pay-per-view Fight Channela. If you wanna fight, fight with style. Trajno snižene cijene u Fight Stuffu. Pro Lab Essential Whey 449 kuna. Pro Lab Creatine Monohidrat 191 kuna. MRI Pro Nos Izolat 431 kuna. www.fightstuff.hr